Hey guys, this is Not Another Game Critic coming at you to give you guys a review of Titanfalls, a game that was developed by Respawn Entertainment. And I was actually really interested in seeing what Respawn Entertainment was going to come out with for their first game, especially knowing the history about how Respawn Entertainment came to being a studio. So, if you don't know much of the history, most of the guys that started up Respawn Entertainment were former higher-ups of the Infinity Ward group from Activision. So, well, you know, Infinity Ward, the studio. But anyways, so, yeah, because the whole thing with the CEO of Activision getting mad at them for doing stuff. I don't remember exact details of what transpired for them to go ahead and fire a bunch of the employees, and probably a few of them left with the guys, knowing that they were gonna start up another studio. So yeah, I was definitely interested to see what their first game was going to be, from Respawn, and this is what we got. And so far, from what I've been doing with this game, it's been super fun. It has its faults, but I'll go ahead and talk about the good stuff right now, and that is the multiplayer. The multiplayer is really fun, really well designed, especially from the level designs to go ahead and use the parkour to go ahead and run around the map. It's really smooth and very intuitive, and you have to go ahead and think a little bit more vertically. Hit detection's great in the game. A lot of responding to actual when you're shooting guys. It takes a little bit more to kill some fellas, but I mean pilots at least with some of the weapons from distance. But it's just finding the niche or the sweet spot of it, and going to and from the Titans is really well done. Just from the animation standpoint, it's not like you just disappear and then you're in it. Just with that, full animation of putting you in it, putting you in the mech is, really, really immersive. You feel like this thing is real for how you just get grabbed and put into it, see it close up, and then the screen come up alive in front of you and everything. So so therefore, it's really fun, especially for the multiplayer. That being said, a few of the things that they could have done was have a little bit more customization of your characters, at least, your Titans. They only get 3 choices for the Titan, which is, kind of a little disappointing. They have a decent amount of weapons that you can go ahead and get some upgrades for them, so you can go ahead and customize them out a little bit more, but not nearly to the scale of Call of Duty. And yeah, so it's like the downfall with the multiplayer bit there is that you have that that lack of customizable abilities for the game, because I feel that Respawn hit a really nice medium from the two type of games that really it's sort of competing against, from the Call of Duty franchise to the Battlefield franchise, where Battlefield, huge maps, a lot of players in there with a full arsenal of vehicles and weapons at your disposal to go at each other. Then you also go to the other side, of course, which is Call of Duty, which is like really small maps, super fast. It's all about just the the weapons there, all the crazy kill streaks and stuff like that. So yeah, so you go ahead and you go from those two, and then boom. Titanfalls is just right there in the middle to go ahead and, it goes ahead and helps out a wider range of gamers trying to go ahead and play in this one for, the 2 different styles of gameplay. And oh, of course, burn cards. I totally forgot about those. Yeah, burn cards to go ahead and actually it goes ahead and changes up the pacing of the game. So you go ahead and get like amped, weapons, or you go ahead and get grenades from just running around and buy the NPCs and stuff. There are some rare burn cards that are really good. I've only gotten 2 of them. Whatever one that lets you be cloaked for as long as you don't die, and the one that's a stim pack. So you just run around super fast on like adrenaline and everything. So yeah, so you get those guys. You only could bring 3 in to match with you. If you use them, they're gone for good. So, and I heard people go ahead and complain about the the NPCs in there. Really, what you have to go ahead and what you have to expect from them, it's them trying to make a Dota game sort of as well in there, as in if you ever played those games like League of Legends, where you have a bunch of these guys that just go ahead, or they're NPCs that are just there for cannon fodder. And that's exactly what these guys are in for these games. They're not meant to go ahead and throw a major challenge at you. They do go ahead and result for some of the games where they are important for getting some score, but it's very minimal when you take them down. So yeah, they're more for like adding to the environment of the game. It's really meant just for the the pilots to go ahead and go up against each other for the multiplayer game, or just for the game in general. It's you're that like elite status soldier, so therefore if you're classed as the pilot, you're just heads and above, better than all the other guys. And you go ahead and hear like they go ahead and literally class them as minions. They'll talk about you in game and like and talk of how awesome the pilots are. So they're pretty much just insects in this game. You could die from them, but literally you would have to just let go of the controller and just sit there and let them just slowly hit you. It'd probably take a while before they kill you, but they probably could. So yeah, so that's the stuff about the at least multiplayer. Granted, the entire game is multiplayer, and the thing that really goes ahead and sadly what makes this game from being that must-have game is the campaign. What you need to know about the campaign is they have a pretty vague intro to go ahead and show you the beginning of man pretty much finally reaching to the stars and starting to colonize planets outside of our solar system. They show one important planet that's like the main one to go out into the frontier, as they like to call it, and from the core planets. So it's this one weird little chokehold in space, which is kind of weird, but anyways, so yeah, so it's pretty much a simple little story of, for some reason, the frontier is ticked off at the IMC, which is the the main core colonies compared to the frontier colonies. And so they'll call it a militant group, just goes ahead and starts up trying to free themselves from the IMC. So in the intro, I don't recall anything being there to show them being really oppressed, if there was oppression going on, or whatever. It's just there's just there's two factions going on, and they're just trying to the frontier wants to be left alone, where IMC is still sort of meddling. So that's the main gist of it. The design of all the levels really goes ahead and paints the picture of like what these colonies are like. But you get no other story besides just the militia going in and pretty much severing off the main passage of trying to get into the frontier. And granted that it's multiplayer as well, so it's pretty much the games that you're going in between is attrition, which is pretty much team deathmatch, and hard points. So there's just 3 hard points, A, B, and C. So if you control it and you get points for every second that you control it, pretty basic stuff. And so when you're going ahead and you're playing through these the campaign, there's just some story dialogue in the background while you're fighting pilots and everything going on. So it makes it really tough to go ahead and pay attention to any storyline going on. They give you sort of a briefing when you're in the lobby. So if there's some people chatting up a storm in there, you can go ahead and miss something. So if you were interested in the campaign, and yeah, so, and the main problem is too, you can't change the outcome of what happens in the storyline when you're playing, one side or the other. So it makes it makes playing the campaign, pretty stupid, or not stupid, just not really worth playing it a second time. And granted, it's only about an hour and a half to go ahead and play through the campaign. It's so fast that you play there. So, but then you have to play it, as the other faction a second time, because the only reason you play the campaign is to go ahead and unlock the different types of Titan for customizing. So, you get the Atlas if you decide to just, go straight in the campaign, or straight into multiplayer and just, start dicking around in that. And then, but you can't unlock those guys unless if you go through, one side unlocks one, the other faction unlocks the other. And it's just kind of, kind of silly to go ahead and do that. But I mean, it's pretty much playing multiplayer on there just with stupid dialogue attached to it. And so that's why the reason why I feel that it isn't really worth the $60, because when you're paying that amount of money for a game, you're expecting to get a lot out of your purchase, or a lot of value out there. Granted that the other 2 games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, granted the campaigns are short on them, but they go ahead and make it feel extremely epic when you're when you're playing them. But, other than that, there's not, they don't really have that in Titanfall. So, hello, little cat. Didn't realize she was behind me. So yeah, that's pretty much Titanfalls in a nutshell. It's a really fun game. If you do decide to get it, I feel that you won't be disappointed unless if you have extremely high expectations. I had really no expectations besides being interested that it was from, Respawn. That's the only reason I was kind of interested to see how it turned out. But yeah, I would, if you're a little bit on the fence for this game, I would wait until price drops, because it really what it is just a multiplayer game. That's it. First person multiplayer nonstop, no getting around that whatsoever. And yeah, and that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review as much as I've enjoyed making it. And I'll go ahead and see you guys on the next show. Have a good one, guys. Peace.